Okay. Let's make sure we got this guy working right. All right, I'll go live again here at the museum. Got a little bit different room. This one we have some foreign tractors in and some of our bigger trucks. And see if this will work. All right. Come on over here. We have Oliver 1900. Farmall 560. This guy's a Oliver Lug-O-Matic. I utilized a GM or Detroit diesel, but also went through and had a automatic style transmission to it, had a torque converter. And this thing was actually rated for 12 to 14 bottoms when plowing. So let's make sure. Okay, just walking around here. Blue 1000 out of North Carolina. LSD 21. And we got some of the foreign tractors here. A couple we have here that are kind of interesting, these two Empires. These were actually the engine transmission transfer case out of them. It was actually out of a World War II Jeep. Just overstock after the war. They went up, bought a bunch of engines. Engines, transmissions, and are you actually using the transfer case on this one? Goes back to run the differential, and then the smaller shaft over here is actually running it's a PTO or belt drive? Belt drive on these ones. But just overstock stuff from World War II and repurposed, bought them up, repurposed it, and made small farm tractors out of them. Continuing on for this room, we got a couple Holmes 850s here. These are 40-ton wreckers. This truck here, as it says, made for the city of Cleveland. This was actually a city of Cleveland truck. We got the chassis through Jerry Howard out of Fairborn, Ohio, or around Dayton, Ohio. The body was sitting in Chicago. It'd been taken apart. The body, or the whole truck, had actually gone up to Canada, up to British Columbia. And you can see at the weld seam here where the fenders actually had to get welded back on. When it came from the Canada back into the States, it was too wide, and they cut the fenders off on each side. This thing's, as far as we can tell, is about the 24th 850 wrecker body that was made. Let's see, look at some comments here. Dylan, 14, Grandpa's missing some parts. Parts for lawn and garden stuff, I'm not sure on. Massey Ferguson, I can't remember if that was a Simplicity or who the actual manufacturer of that one was. I'm thinking that was a Simplicity. Same with I want to say Ford and Minneapolis Moline used them as well. So sorry, I can't give you any more answers on that one. A little auto car here, came out of New Jersey originally. This is actually an eBay buy. Probably one of the best deals we ended up with at the museum. There's, well, heck, I can. In the glove box, there's actually Brook receipt books. Very Spartan interior on it, but Brooks sales and service. SO station. This one would be a little bit newer than this truck. Diamond Rio trucks, and also 1970. But that's from the station that this thing actually worked out of. Yeah, Dylan, I'm sure that's going to be hard to find. It's unfortunately a lot of those ended up somewhere in a boneyard. This middle one, we think it's a weld-built. There's no tags on it. Best we can tell, we think it's a weld-built. And then over on this side of on the GMC is another Holmes 850. This one was done this one, we also have a 72 Chevy dump truck, restored by the same gentleman out of Missouri. So, well done. Diamond T here. This actually came out of the Guerrera Museum up in Connecticut. I got a handful of trucks that came out of there. Has stake sides with it, but we went through and took those off. Anything we have that's a flatbed, we try to utilize it for display space. So, and we can tie these down, and we've taken this truck to a show with the Olivers on top of it. Let's see. We got a row of white trucks. Previous live, I think we went through, looked at the yellow freight Mack and trailer that we have. This yellow freight white was got at the same time. Like I said, it's one of 5 of the antique fleet. We have 4 out of the 5. The 5th one is a Kenworth that's in Iowa 80 at their museum. Yeah, I'll just do just kind of quick walk around, nothing big. Showcase some of the stuff we have in these rooms. We have, throughout the museum, we have a decent amount of neon signs. One for International there. Federal sign up there. That goes, for that Federal sign, goes with the thermos bottle truck we have here. '37 Studebaker conventional. Probably one of the oddest trucks we have here is a Diamond T cab over. Gentleman wanted more power to it. His son wanted more power to it, and that has a Buick V8 hanging off the front of it now. That's the 3rd engine that's been on the front of that truck. So, did everything he could just not to buy something new. And we'll keep going around here. This truck, unassuming looking, but this one of the rarest trucks we have. 1940 Dodge, but it has a Dodge-made diesel in it. They only made about 600 of those motors. Maybe a handful of them even exist anymore. This might be the only one that runs. We're not sure. Then continuing on with the Dodge, of course, Power Wagon. Still a little bit newer than, or actually same age as the Power Wagon. WJ A55. It's more of a trucks that would have been running late 40s and up into the 60s. In the middle here we have El Turbo, 1949 Peterbilt 351. Been heavily modified through the years. This truck has over 6 million miles on it. There's one gentleman out of California that ran it for pretty much its whole working life and ran it up until 2006. Another one we got from Jerry Howard. Unfortunately, it was after his passing in 2021. Same thing with Midnight sitting next to it. It was a truck that Jerry built himself. This is completed in 2005. So I did a small video on this truck. It's one that in the 70s, that was probably the most photographed, or most truck was in the most magazines. It's a 310-inch wheelbase, I believe. Diamond T 951. This one's sitting on a mid-80s Peterbilt chassis. 300-inch wheelbase. One thing with these trucks, these are international cabs. So Diamond T bought a lot of their cabs through International. But then they went through and they actually cut the bottom of the cab out and dished the floor down to give you more leg room, and then sold this truck against International, saying they had the most leg room in the segment. But cozy truck. In the back is a fridge, sink, double bed, and plenty of storage to use as a sleeper. So we got Helm's Bakery truck out of LA, RC Cola truck that got out of Texas, and a little Coca-Cola truck. This was actually fabricated in-house. The chassis is an International C300, 1936. Did not make these trucks for that long. This was actually on the 1936 International Annual Report, was a C300 as a Coke truck. A little different body, but, and everything on here, all the Coke that's in the bottles is actually Coca-Cola. I think we're late 90s, I think is when it was put in there. But all glass bottle. Every single one of them has a stamp on the bottom side saying where the bottle was made for. So, but figure I had a few minutes here at the museum. Kind of quiet this afternoon, so I would just go live, see what I could show you guys. If there's anything you see you want more info on or video on, please comment, let me know. Thank you.